Hello and welcome to pmclounge.com. The topic of this video is Agile in a nutshell. So we'll be discussing Agile. Most often we discuss project management from PMP certification perspective, but it's better to understand the fact that there are more than 20 styles of project management available out there. And some of them are used more often than others. And one of them is the SDLC, which PMP relies heavily on and suggests as well. But Agile has been included recently with PMBOK Edition 6, and it's always good to understand these different styles of project management. Like I mentioned, there are more than 20 styles of project management available out there. So the business environment that we are in, and it as it changes, you should know these different styles of project management so that you can make use of one of these which is most effective in your own business environment. So this is a quick video on Agile. We will look into some of the basics of Agile, and it is definitely going to help you get started in your journey of Agile. Now, we did say that there are more than 20 styles of project management out there. Is Agile a style? Is Agile a methodology? Is Agile a set of rules? What is Agile? Let's take a look at that first. Now, I'm referring to one of the articles at pmi.org. The source is in on this slide and the link below. You can go ahead and read the entire article if you want to. But it clearly says, this article clearly says that Agile is not a methodology. So certain texts will call Agile a methodology. Certain texts like this will say that Agile is not a methodology. So if it, and again, this article itself is basically designed and written to make sure that you correct the common misnomer that Agile is a methodology, right? So there's this Agile practice guide which has been mentioned too, and this was jointly developed by PMI and Agile Alliance. It was published in September 2017, and this came out with PMBOK Edition 6, right? So it says Agile is an approach to collaborative problem solving for exploratory work informed by a mindset of values and principles as set forth in the Agile Manifesto. So what it basically says is Agile is an approach. It doesn't say that Agile is a methodology. So that's one thing that should be clear, that Agile is not a methodology, it is an approach. And there's this Agile mindset. It informs personal behavior, ways of thinking, and actions aligned with the Agile Manifesto values and principles. So, Agile is not a methodology. That's something which has been cleared with this article, and it's hosted by pmi.org. So, that's pretty much the official word on why Agile is not a methodology. And as this article correctly points out, to the Agile Practice Guide, which was again published by PMI in a joint venture with Agile Alliance. So it should be clear that Agile is definitely not a methodology, at least in PMI's eyes, right? So let's get back to the basics. Let's talk about Agile in a nutshell. So Agile is time boxed, or some people call it time bound, right? So Agile is time boxed. It is iterative in nature, and it builds software incrementally instead of trying to deliver it all at once near the end. So our traditional SDLC model, our traditional waterfall model, what it does is it delivers the entire project near the end of the project life cycle, right? Towards the end, you deliver the entire product as a whole. What Agile does is it builds software incrementally, and it delivers incrementally instead of everything at last, right? And that is why it is iterative in nature. And this time period, this iteration, right? The time period of this iteration is time boxed, and that is why it is time boxed. Some more things to consider is that Agile works by breaking projects down into little bits of user functionality called user stories. Now, user stories is something very important that you should know. User stories is basically, if we speak in traditional language, user stories is just a set of requirements put forth by the users, which you think you can deliver in a certain time boxed manner in one iteration. So let's say there's a group of 10 requirements. You might think the first three can be delivered in the first iteration. So those three will be part of a user story, and that is something which you are going to deliver in the first iteration. So you're basically breaking down those 10 requirements into uh, different chunks that you are going to deliver. The other thing is that user stories are prioritized. So the first three, you might be good at delivering the first three. You might plan like that. But if you realize, basically working with your stakeholders, that the user stories 4 and 5 are more important from customer perspective, then you will prioritize those user stories and you will deliver 4 and 5 first before 1, 2, and 3. So user stories are prioritized and continuously delivered in short 2 week cycles. So we said time boxed or we said time bound. So 2 weeks is the time apparently for every iteration. Now, if it wasn't clear yet, Agile is most often used in software development only. So that's one thing to consider when we talk about PMBOK guide, when we talk about the PMP certification, when we talk about project management in general. We are not really talking just about the software industry, but Agile is most often used in software industry. So when you're talking about Agile, you're most likely talking about the software industry. The other thing to consider is that agile project management assumes that the requirements and solutions may change. So, as opposed to the traditional SDLC model, where you may think that it is important and it is necessary to have the requirements and the solution that you're trying to build at the beginning phases itself, it may not be the case with Agile, because Agile believes, if you're using Agile, you believe that the requirements and the solutions may also change. There's an additional point here. It says that the development teams must be able to collaborate and self-organize across departments to respond to these changes. So we believe two things here. One is that we believe that the requirements and solutions may change. And the second is the fact that the development teams, they should be able to collaborate and self-organize across the departments to respond to these kind of changes. So that's all that we had in this nutshell video for Agile. We'll be bringing more nutshell videos on a different project management styles. So stay tuned on that. I'll share a link to the entire playlist in the description below so you can check that out. Do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon if you haven't done so already. If you like this video, if you were able to learn something new, do hit the like button and it definitely supports us. Check us out on our social media. PMC Lounge is our handle on YouTube, Facebook, as well as Twitter. And a lot of people ask this question on what books they should buy to prepare for the PMP exam. You can definitely go to pmclounge.com/PMP preparation resources with a dash in between the words, and the link is available on your screen right now. You can go there and you will be able to find the books that you can refer to. So that's all that I had. Do check out the website pmclounge.com, your number one free resource for PMP and other project management certifications, as well as project management industry information. Thank you.